Hello, everyone. Welcome into Bollox Talks and Tangents. Well, you may have noticed during our pre-show that it was a little bit black, and that's because, unfortunately, our dearest viewers, camera number 2 decided today will be a great day not to work. So
I'm very, very handsome. If you can't tell.
Yes, indeed. So
Thank you.
So unfortunately, my fingers will be sore today. And if, oh no, the switcher just, oh no.
Oh, you're stuck with me. Oh, how lovely. Blake, you want to sit on my lap? We can get it done that way.
No.
All right, just saying. Don't say it didn't offer.
That way. All right. Here, Lenny. While I'm trying to fix on this issue, would you mind telling the dear viewers about our wonderful sponsors?
I will be delighted. So, as you all know, as I'm sitting here, we're going in a different direction with our St. Augustine Distillery cocktails this evening. How does a St. Augustine gin and tonic sound to you? Right here? And I'd say right there, but look at that. We got the gin. We got it all. This is delicious, by the way. Made with Florida cane spirits, cane sugar. And it's just one of the magic products that come out of the St. Augustine Distillery over there on Riberia Street. Best tours in town. Great little distillery. National ranking. Their bourbon, as we've attested to numerous times, is fabulous. But their rum, their vodka, and their gin are not far off, as I'm drinking tonight. And they're very lovely. And their cohort is the City Gates Distillery. And that's over on Sponsor Row, across from the fort down there. Also a lovely tour. They'll give you 8 or 9 samples of some of the most fabulously flavored liquors that are out there. We speak ad nauseum about the peach, which is just delicious, in lemonade and iced tea. It's wonderful. The Coca-Cola works great. They've got a couple of moonshines that will make your moon shine. And we'll just leave that one at that. But go in there, try their tour there. Try the tour at the St. Augustine Distillery. Both of them are just well worth the time. At the St. Augustine Distillery now, they're doing bourbon classes. They're doing mixology classes. So it's more than just a tour and a tasting. They're offering quite a lot to the community, and they've been going strong for over 10 years now, it seems. And then we've also got Meehan's, my favorite restaurant in St. Augustine. Kaiser, you're my favorite deli. We'll get you in a minute. But Meehan's also on the Bayfront. Reggie Meggs and his staff do a phenomenal job. I was off a month last week when I was saying, St. Patrick's Day is coming up, but it is. But we got another couple of weeks before we get there. So make your plans now for that. 3 bars, inside, outside, upstairs, all around the town. Great views from the porch upstairs, great view from the porch downstairs. But if you're looking for something a little off the beaten Bayfront, go to the backyard. It's a bit brisk out now, but they've got fire pit tables that'll keep you nice and warm and toasty. Bring your own marshmallows, however, because I don't think they offer them. But the staff there is great. Everybody that works there is friendly. They know their stuff. You're looking for oysters on the weekends, that's the place to go for oysters. I got to tell you, ask for the Irish cream. Try their Irish cream. They make it fresh every day, and you'll never say Bailey's again. Can we say that? Too late. I did.
We already did, Lenny. But hey, but do want to let the fine people know that we have a new sponsor.
I'm getting there.
Hey, here, I got it here.
Go ahead.
I got this one. And ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to announce that Bollox Talks and Tangents has a new proud sponsor of us. We appreciate them so much. The Vault and Company. They are located at 112 North Ponce de Leon. They are the first luxury Pontique.
Pontique. Okay, let's make up more words. I like doing that. I like making up words.
Yes, indeed. So, I should adjust my microphone, Lenny.
Who you are, me?
I know. I am on myself now. So the Volunteer picture says gold, silver, coins, jewelry, and other luxury items. They have brands including Cartier, Tiffany & Co., Vera Wang, Prada, Coach, Hermes, Louis Vuitton, and Rolex, to name a few. Lenny, are you in the mood for some Rolex watches?
No, too heavy on my wrist. But a Vera Wang gown is always wonderful.
And indeed, Lenny, if you do want to look at some amazing products, you can always go to the Vault & Co. once again on 112 North Ponce de Leon Boulevard, right next to the Cat Cafe. They were really great.
Now I know where it is.
Yes, indeed, they're really great in helping Rebecca find a wonderful gift for her. We thank them so much for joining us. and it should be amazing. And speaking about great family, I should mention Coquina Coast Realty is my father's real estate company. If you're looking for a commercial or residential property, please feel free to reach out to my dad, Troy Blevins. His phone number is 904-669-7901. Again, if you're looking for a commercial real estate or a residential property, my dad's phone number is 904-669-7901.
And then when you're selling your house or buying a house and you may run into some tax complications, call Abare, Kresge and Associates for all your tax and financial planning needs. They'll help you with a business plan if you're going to open a business. It's tax time of year. Everybody's sweating and stressing over that. But let them take it off your plate. They'll take good care of you, Abare, Kresge and Associates, for all your tax and accounting needs. They're CPAs. They'll do your taxes. They'll help you with a business plan. Go. Check them out. See if they can help you out. They'll probably save you quite some money. And last but not least, I believe we've got one more, and that is my friend Kurt Volhart at Kaiser's Deli and Market. You want a good sandwich? That is the place to go in St. Augustine. Delicious food. Boar's Head meats. And trust me, they're all clean and tidy these days. Take my word for it. Great collection of beers. He curates a great beer selection there. You got imports, you've got domestics, you've got IPAs, you've got framboise, you've got the Belgian beers that the little monks are making in their little monasteries. You're not going to go wrong, and all I have to tell you is try one of two sandwiches, either the Bollox, named after our fabulous show right here, or get yourself a pastrami sandwich, either as a straight pastrami sandwich or as the daddle Reuben, the locals' favorite with our natural daddle Russian dressing. It'll keep you hopping. It's just that good. All right.
I did went there for lunch today, and it was my fifth free sandwich with the punch card. 10 punches on the punch card there. Get your free sandwich. So I definitely want to say it is a great program. But I do want to say though, directly to Kaiser, the Boston Bruins are better than the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah, there you go. We talked about Charlie McAvoy earlier tonight on the Mike Davis Show. Charlie McAvoy out of Long Beach, New York. #1 draft choice of the Boston Bruins, playing tonight, dropping gloves up in Canada. We'll be ready for the USA to take the crown, baby. In the 4-for-all. We're good. We're ready. We're going.
Indeed, you are, Lenny. All right, Lenny. Let's do some war origins and let's see. Do you want to go with your war origin first, or you think I should go ahead and...
You go ahead, and then I'll lead right into our topic.
All right, indeed. All right. So tonight's topic is about famous whistleblowers because today is today is actually International Whistleblower Day. So so today was actually my subject. But the the word I wanted to talk about was actually something similar to whistleblowers because whistleblowers often work in this type of field, surveillance.
Oh, you changed it up on me. Mm-hmm. I thought you were going with referee and they get to blow a whistle, but carry on.
Yeah, I unfortunately I couldn't find any big concrete deal about refereeing, like it just says referee star was first found in 1549, but didn't get into detail about that. So I unfortunately couldn't go into detail about referee, even though they are the biggest whistleblowers of all time.
Okay.
Yes, but anyway, surveillance. We want to have a guess on which country for first coined the word surveillance?
France.
It is indeed French.
Stick with me, kid. We're going places.
Yes, we are. All right. So surveillance both came from French and Latin, and so actually caught on in England in the 18th century, because yeah, so basically, it came from super, from Latin super, and then the word valence from.
So that's watching from above.
Yes.
Took 6 years of Latin and won the Latin medal in Long Beach High School.
Yeah, thank you, Lenny. Dude, I am I apologize to everyone right now. Just rushing back and forth because because fortunately everything decided to blow up at once for us here in the studio. We apologize again for camera 2 going out and then me having to rush back in. So, and unfortunately because the word I thought I was going to go with today was
Usurped by me.
yes, indeed, Lenny.
Sorry, you know me. We have a topic. I theme my word origin to the topic.
I should have learned better from that. I should have
Yes,
learned better from
you know me by now.
And unfortunately, I do not do well under pressure when it comes to making shit up on the spot. I unfortunately do not. I did not inherit my dad's skill. So here I am, just sweating in my bone. Why am I wearing this? By the way, it should be positive vibes only, but yet no, I am panicking my butt off.
No. Deep breaths, Blake. You're doing fabulous as always. The show would not be on the air without you. All right, so then I'm going to go to my word origin, which is the topic of tonight's show, which is whistleblowers.
Nice.
So my word origin is the word origin for whistleblower. And there's a couple of different things, but it's been kicking around since the 14th, the Elizabethan era. Which was to whistle on something, which was to give something away, or to blow, which was also to blow cover or blow something like that. Now, there was an interim period where it was a law enforcement terminology because the cops on the beat, to gain attention, some places they would bang a nightstick on the ground to get the attention of the other cops in the area, but all of them would be blowing whistles. So the police were actually the first literal whistleblowers. But it's colloquially come to mean exposed wrongdoing, as opposed to a leaker. A leaker just disseminates information without a point. Well, they probably do have a point, and a lot of it is for self-gratification or self-aggrandizement or to get something for themselves. Whistleblowers are not looking for anything for themselves necessarily. They're looking to expose corruption, malfeasance, or wrongdoings, and that's where whistleblowers have come in. And this evening we're going to talk about a bunch of them. And believe it or not, we think contemporary whistleblowers who expose about the things that are going on. The first whistleblower I came to in my research was from 1777. And that was a couple of Navy men by the name of Samuel Shaw and Richard Marvins. Mm-hmm. This was during the Revolutionary War. They were watching their commanding officer torture British prisoners of war, and they didn't think that was very right. So they went to their commanding officer, who said, look, we're ratting this guy out because we believe that this is wrong and we want to tell you what we think is right. And, of course, the commanding officer fired them. So they were fired. And then further on, after they had accused the commanding officer of torturing the British POWs, they were arrested and thrown in jail. And the commanding officer, the torturer, sued them for libel. Well, these guys said, hey, hang on here. This is just not right at all. So they went to the Continental Congress and said, we were just doing our jobs. We were doing what we believed was right. And believe it or not, the Continental Congress backed them up. Mm. They provided funds for their defense, and they won the lawsuit. The guy that was suing them was arrested and got fired. He was out of work. And these guys did okay. Their reputations were cleared up, and these were the first whistleblowers that I could find, and we're going back to 1777. Out of that, in 1778, the Continental Congress passed the first whistleblower protection law, and that was passed by unanimous consent by the Continental Congress. So it was really a pretty great thing, because Hopkins, who was the commanding officer, who was the torturer, was fired, and these guys went on after winning their lawsuit. And that's where the process of trying to either protect whistleblowers became legislative, and they moved on from there.
Yeah. So that was the first case. So it definitely is surprising to hear hearing hearing the first case about whistleblowers come directly from our birth of our nation. And not just talking about, but also hearing two people, see us torturing our enemies at the time, then speaking out loud hey, we shouldn't be doing this. that was like a crazy sentiment at the time for like us saying like, oh, we're still getting information out of our enemies. Why look, why are you stopping this?
Well, as a country, we think and we try to hold ourselves to a higher moral standard. So there are ways to get information, there's ways to not, and this is a Pandora's box of opinions on there as far as that's concerned, because you can take in a lot of different. Is the sacrifice of the few greater to protect the many? And this is at what point in time do you protect the moral standard, the moral high ground? Before you become your enemy and act in the same way that they're doing it. But, we're talking about this during the Revolutionary War. There were whistleblowers exposing corruption and torture in prisons as late as the Gulf Wars with Abu Ghraib. So, it went on in that prison there as well over in Iraq and Iran. So, Iraq. So I rack my brain most of the time to get stuff here.
Yeah, but going off on a little tangent here, speak about torture in general. So we have seen like multiple Mel Gibson movies. We have seen 24 of torture being used as a device to get more information out. But in turn, that leads to us thinking like, oh, torture is a great method. And we actually heard, I believe it was Chief Justice when it wasn't Justice Antonin Scalia say that hey, if Jack Bauer can use torture to get information out of our enemies, that we should use it all the time.
And Antonin's the man who gave guns to everybody walking around Washington, D.C., where they're now complaining about crime. So, easy, Antonin. You were great for a while, and then you made a couple of bad decisions like Heller. So we'll keep carrying on from there.
Indeed.
But then, you get into 1863, and Abraham Lincoln enacted the first Claim Act. The False Claim Act, which gave rewards for people that were exposing wrongdoing. And, as we come later into some of this, there's a couple people that made an awful lot of money by being whistleblowers. And the IRS has a program that if you expose tax fraud and the government reclaims, you're entitled to a portion of that. And there's people that, got $117 million, there's people getting big paychecks out of exposing some of that. And it was pretty interesting because in 2009, a gentleman by the name of Bradley Birkenfeld exposed the Swiss bank UBS for covering up some of their American account holders who were avoiding paying income tax. And UBS was eventually fined $780 million for doing that. And it was in 2009 where this happened. And in 2012, Bradley Birkenfeld got $104 million from the IRS whistleblower office. So, turning somebody in from, excuse me, I need more gin and tonic.
You're all good. I probably should have grabbed my water, but right. I know it's right over there. So
you only have one camera, so put me on camera and go get your water. Nobody will worry about it. We can still hear you from there.
Can you?
Yes, Blake, we can. Your voice is as strong as mine.
Yeah, but I don't click. I don't click. I don't speak clearly though. I unfortunately inherited my dad's dyslexia, but fortunately it came into speaking variety.
Okay. Sure, catch me on camera drinking. Oh, water instead of my gin and tonic. All righty.
Hey.
But there's a couple of and it's funny. I'm looking at whistleblowers, and I got I guess I did about 15 or 20 whistleblowers. I found at least 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 of those whistleblowers, obviously much more contemporary, that had their stories made into movies. One of the most famous one was a gentleman by the name of Frank Serpico. New York City detective, exposed corruption in the New York City Police Department, went to the higher-ups, and didn't work out so well because they kind of blew him off. And Frank Serpico, and he had a partner at the time doing this, was a man by the name of David Dirk. Got to be able to read my own handwriting. And eventually, that led to the 1971 Knapp Commission, which really shook up the New York City Police Department, with officers on the pad, taking corruption, getting envelopes. It was not a good scene. He eventually retired in 1972. This is Serpico, retired in 1972 on a medical disability. But the movie was one of the movies that made Al Pacino's career. He played Frank Serpico. And believe me, there were a lot of people gunning for poor Frank Serpico. He moved upstate and went away. And, I also think, I'm not quite sure, but I think he died recently. Can you check that out for me?
He's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay, then he did not die recently.
Yeah, no. So he's still alive. He's 88 right now.
Okay.
But actually, so after retiring, so the month before he retired, he actually received the NYPD's Medal of Honor, but there was no ceremony, and basically
Right.
said that they was just pushed onto his desk like a pack of cigarettes. And he actually didn't get an official ceremony until 2021 by Mayor Eric Adams. Wrong person to bring up now.
Where's the irony in that? As he's theoretically he was indicted for corruption, and now the current administration, and it's the federal administration, not the new, is blowing that off because they're going to make him his little minion, and he's going to do their bidding.
Yeah. So actually, the ceremony actually took place on February 3rd, 2022, and Adams said that Serpico's bravery inspired his law enforcement career. But actually, instead of the 21 gun salute, it was actually the 21 bubble wrap salute.
Yeah.
So they actually popped bubble wraps and just started firing off their guns.
Well, it's a little more holistic, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Eric Adams was a police officer, a New York City police officer for years and years and years, and got his hand stuck in the turkey stuffing. So.
Yeah, but actually he actually did run for office in the New York town. Do you want to guess which town?
Serpico?
Yeah.
I believe it was someplace upstate, but I don't know.
It was Stuyvesant. Stuyvesant in Columbia County.
Okay.
All right. So and that's where he still lives to this day. So thank you, Serpico.
Okay, so we got another one. This is another name that became a movie. Karen Silkwood. Mm-hmm. Karen Silkwood worked for the Kerr-McGee nuclear plant and found very serious issues there, the nuclear facility. And she went and testified before the Atomic Energy Commission. And then, strangely, there were containment issues with some of the plutonium things, but they ended up finding plutonium in her apartment, and her food in her refrigerator contained plutonium. And strangely, as she was on her way, she testified before the Atomic Energy Commission, and as she was on her way to meet with her union rep, because she was also a union advocate and a union organizer, and was trying to organize the people that worked in that plant. She was on her way to meet with the New York Times and the union reps, and she was in a single car crash that was under mysterious circumstances, and she was killed in that car crash. The answer was that she was tired and fell asleep behind the wheel, but there's a lot of people that are not buying into that and think that somebody went out of their way to knock her off before she could do any more testimony or damage, or it might have been just, vengeance on her success. There was another one that was made into a movie. So that was a pretty tough one there, too, as well. But now the Silkwood shower is a colloquial term for if you get exposed to toxin or nuclear contamination, things like that. They literally scrub your skin raw to get you as clean as possible. Yeah. So that's the Silkwood shower.
Yeah, that has to be a scary process to go
I
through.
would think so.
Yeah.
Who do you have for me, Blake? What do you got?
All right. I'm going to go with Peter Buxton.
Okay.
He was a former U.S. Public Health Service employee,
mm-hmm.
and he was the one that helped expose the Tuskegee syphilis study.
Yep.
That ran from 1932 to 1972. So Buxton joined the Public Health Service in the mid 1960s, in San Francisco, and then they actually helped out with the during the middle of the syphilis study, where it actually began in 1932 in Macon County, Alabama. It involved 600 black African Americans in total, 399 that had syphilis, and 201 that didn't have syphilis. They were actually recruited under false pretenses of receiving free health care, but the Public Health Service and the Centers for Disease Control withheld treatment even after penicillin was widely available in the mid 40s to observe the disease's natural progression. The men were lied to, told they had bad blood, and given placebos, meals, and burial insurance as incentives while their suffering and deaths were documented for science.
Yep, and then when the Public Health Service pulled the funding and the treatment, they kept these guys in the project and, did nothing for them as they're now being ravaged with syphilis. It was horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that just shows you what happens when the government pulls funding from trials that are in progress. Mm-hmm. Cautionary tale for today as we're cutting back everywhere, and USAID taking money away from projects that are ongoing, and they're stopping them in midstream. There's a lot of health initiatives that are being stopped in midstream right about now, and there's people that are in the middle of these trials that are now losing any type of progress that's been going on, and they're just being left. It's not a fair process, and it's, see things through, especially when you're dealing with people's lives.
Yeah.
This is nothing to be cavalier about.
Mm. Yeah, so in 1966 he filed an ethical protest with the Services Division of Venereal Diseases, comparing the study to Nazi experience, which is personal to him because he's Jewish, he has a Jewish family, and his family actually did flee from Nazi occupied Czechoslovakia in 1938. So, but
they got out early.
Yeah, but his complaints were dismissed. He tried again in 1968 after Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination. Mm-hmm. But in 1972 he handed over the documents to a Associated Press reporter, who then passed it on to investigative journalist Gene Heller. On July 25th, 1972, the story broke about the experiment.
Well, that's a theme that carries through a lot of these, especially as we get into more contemporary times. A lot of these people that are deemed whistleblowers did the right process. They found the issues that they wanted to talk about, and they did the chain of command. They went, and a lot of them were brought to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee as far as the Vietnam War issues. They went to Congress on a lot of these things, and more times than not, they were blown off. So when they got no love there, they turned around and they found a journalist that was sympathetic, and these things got published in the Washington Post, the New York Times, and all of a sudden, the clean light of day, they say sunshine is the best disinfectant, was out there because they did the right thing. They went to the right channels, and they were rebuked. So therefore, they didn't, and they weren't stopping because they knew that they were trying to expose something that was important and needed to be brought into the daylight. And if they weren't getting the results that they wanted out of Congress, out of the Senate, out of the U.S. government, they had to go and do it in the public forum, which is the newspapers.
Yeah. Now, do you want, so the study ended in November of 1972. Do you want to know the year that sitting president of the United States issued the formal apology to remaining victims?
I'll go with, I have to do presidential math here. How about 2008?
It was actually a bit earlier. It was 1997 with President Bill Clinton.
Oh, okay. Good job, Bubba.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
well, what a nice segue you set up for me there, Blake. Let's talk about Linda Tripp. I don't necessarily know that I would call her a wonderful whistleblower, but
No.
let's just say Bill Clinton exposed himself, and then Linda Tripp exposed him. So again, but she was kind of surreptitious about it, shall we say, because Linda Tripp became a confidant of a young woman named Monica Lewinsky. And they became friendly. They had worked together, and they became friendly. And then Linda Tripp got Monica Lewinsky to open up to her, and she recorded the conversations that they had, which was not legal at the time. So she was illegally wiretapping her and recording conversations, and that brought the impeachment trial for Bill Clinton for not keeping it in his pants. Still trying to figure out the definition of is, but we'll be there later. Oh, interesting. Erin Brockovich, good job there, Barbara Jean. I was trying to think about Love Canal. Anyway, so Linda Tripp cut a deal with the Department of Justice, and she would turn over her tapes to the DOJ in exchange for having her illegal wiretapping charges dropped. So there was certainly some quid pro quo there for her to do that. We all know the eventuality that Clinton was impeached but not convicted, so he carried on with his presidency. And, you know, the blue dress lives on in infamy.
Yeah.
So...
Now, have you ever seen? Have you seen the impeachment, the American Crime Story series on FX?
No.
Yeah. So
Does that help you?
no.
No, I have not.
Yeah, but it's really great. I think it had like Clive Olive as Bill Clinton, and who was it? Who was
Monica?
No. Who was Tony Soprano's wife? Edie Falco as Hillary Clinton. But it's a really great series though.
Okay.
You should really watch it.
Okay.
But in the first episode, it actually did bring up like the first signs of like discontent against the Clinton White House when after she was moved when Lim Tripp was moved to the Pentagon after Vince Foster's
Demise, shall we say?
yes.
His questionable death?
Yes.
Okay. For you conspiracy theorists out there, who did it?
Yeah, but actually, Linda Tripp did serve Vince Foster's last meal.
And what did she feed him, one may wonder, and at whose behest?
Hamburger and M&Ms.
Ooh, okay. You know, I guess if I'm on death row, that may not be my last meal, but maybe. Good burger's tough to beat.
Yeah, so...
Okay.
Yeah, but I thought that was like obviously it was a scripted drama that's based on some stuff, but that's if that was like the first thing of like, okay, Vince Foster, yeah, and then that which caused Linda Tripp to move to be forced out of the White House to move to the Pentagon.
Okay.
And then now that was the first sign of things to go.
Well, you know, the Clintons sort of survived it. You know, Bubba got 2 terms and Hillary got none. Not to say that she wasn't successful, but still.
Yeah. All right. Alrighty then.
Well, in that case, Bobby's asking if we're going to get into Mark Felt.
Oh, you mean
Deep Throat. Deep Throat. And I'm not talking the movie there, not Linda Lovelace, Linda Tripp, and we're done with her. We're moving on.
But speaking about Deep Throat though, now there's a lot of conspiracies. Like there's a lot of things like saying, oh well, this was like the highest grossing. This is like the highest grossing movie per ratio for like all time. I think it made like 150 million to like a $25,000 budget.
What, Deep Throat?
Yeah.
No, we're talking about your tangent there. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you mind if I smoke while you eat?
Oh.
Carry on.
Jeez.
What?
All right. So.
What?
So for those who do not know about the movie Deep Throat,
You're better off.
don't watch it. Thankfully I haven't watched it yet. So.
Yeah, I like the yet. Good way to qualify, Blake.
Yes. So, but one of the biggest things that the Deep Throat was infamous for was apparently.
We talking about the movie or
Yes, the movie.
Okay.
The movie at first.
Try to keep it clean here, kids. Carry on.
I'm only talking about the money, because there were reports that the movie made around $600 million in 1972, which would have been equivalent of $4.4 billion, despite it having a budget of $47,000.
And probably not playing on a lot of screens.
Indeed, Lenny. But that's because most of the movie was passed around by the Italians.
Excuse me, are you besmirching my lawnsman? Are you using the M word? The CN, the Costa Nostra? Shame on you, impugning Italians. Oh, Blake, where did I go wrong with you, my son?
Yeah.
Carry on.
So they fudged the numbers a little bit to try to get the movie up, but the official number is still great for like a good ratio because apparently it made like around 30 to 50 million. Still fantastic for that low of a budget. But Deep Throat was around the time the great Watergate scandal happened.
Well, there you go. So Mark Felt, who was an associate director of the FBI, we still have one, was the person who figured out what was going on, and he went to Woodward and Bernstein to get it out into the public. He kept meeting them in underground parking garages.
Yeah, and so I did some research on Fell as well. So
Okay.
so he actually started in the FBI like early on. So he was born in 1913. Joined the FBI in 1942.
Under Hoover.
Yep, indeed. He was a huge Hoover loyalist as well. Like, but a lot of stories of that guy. But story for a later episode.
All right, we'll leave Clive Tollison out of this for the time being.
Indeed. But yes, so June 17th, 1972, the five men broke into the Democratic National Committee headquarters in the Watergate complex.
Mm-hmm.
And now, the actually fun fact about the Watergate right now, it's actually a hotel.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was a condominium and hotel. People live there. Yep. And it's one of the better locations in Washington, believe it or not.
Yeah, and plus also thank you Forrest Gump for reporting it to the police.
But now you see all these movies and people are meeting places to discuss confidential things, or they're meeting one-on-one. They don't want to be fought. They all do them in underground garages, which is where Mark Felt met with Woodward and Bernstein.
Now, actually, I actually didn't know this. Woodward and Bernstein didn't come up with the name Deep Throat.
No, Mark Felt did.
No, it was actually a Washington Post editor.
Really?
Named Howard Simons, referencing the name of the movie plus the amount of information that he gave to Woodward and Bernstein.
Okay.
So,
And years and I don't remember. Wasn't that long ago. Well, maybe could have been 10 years ago that Mark Felt finally came out and said I was Deep Throat. I mean, he claimed the title. So, which sort of made sense. And that was another thing that was made into a movie with, who was that? That was Redford and Hoffman, Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman.
yeah.
All the President's Men. Yeah.
I think I did remember reading that book in middle school, I believe. So it was.
Well, you're always ahead of your time.
No, sorry. I think it was high school. So
Okay.
yes, but it was interesting though. So but how though I look like most high schoolers I looked back to the internet before the big pop quiz.
Yeah, okay, right.
So, but I did pass it. Dad. I know you're watching. I know you have your headphones on at the horror meeting. So,
We got you there, Bobby. Bobby said he was trying to reference the Woodward and Bernstein, the Mark Felt situation, not the movie that you brought up. But we got him there. We got him there.
Now,
We take care of our fans.
Indeed we do. Like now, do you know which year that was officially revealed that Mark Felt was Deep Throat?
I don't. I don't know. At this point in time, I kind of lose track of time. But I would say 15 years ago, maybe.
It was actually it was May 31st, 2005 because
All right, 20 years ago.
Yeah, because his family's financial needs and his own declining health, he actually suffered a stroke 4 years before that. He and for funding for his family, plus he needed to disclose some things, so he had to say, "Yes, I am Deep Throat." So yeah, he and I believe he died in 2008. So thank you, Mr.
Me too, Barbara Jean. Don't you worry.
So thank you, Mr. Throw, for creating the term "gate" after every
Right,
scandal.
exactly. Very true, very true. So if we want to stay with the Washingtonian situation and the books, this one didn't quite make it into a movie, but you got Daniel Ellsberg and the Pentagon Papers.
All right.
Okay, I think he's on my front page.
Flip indeed.
Yep. And this was a case that we were talking about earlier. He brought it to the Senate. Daniel Ellsberg brought the information to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee that basically said the Pentagon or the Defense Department did a bunch of research into the war in Vietnam to see what was happening, and they came to realize that the war was absolutely unwinnable. Yet they continued to escalate and escalate and escalate the war. And he said, why are we doing this? This is atrocious. This is ridiculous. And he brought that information to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and they kind of did nothing with it. So he went to the press, and it was published in the New York Times, I believe. And he got arrested and charged with violating the 1917 Espionage Act, but it was eventually dismissed in 1973. And he went on, and the Pentagon Paper was a very, very big selling book. A little dry, but it exposed the fact that the government knew that we weren't going to win or prevail in the war in Vietnam, yet we kept sending troops, we kept sending money, we kept sending people over there. And sadly, a lot of people who died probably should not have. Anybody who was over in that conflict probably shouldn't have died. But we were afraid of another domino falling to the communists, and that's how it started. The French got crushed in Indochina, and we were absolutely no smarter. So, and now Vietnam is one of our favorite trading partners and a great vacation spot.
Yeah, they make a lot of great tennis balls. Because I believe the Wilson factory is in Vietnam.
Okay.
So if you ever want to thank if Roger Federer or Rafael Nadal will want to thank anyone for their great Grand Slam titles, thank Vietnam. Yeah, but surprisingly though, I'm looking at a newspaper right here. I think it was from the New York Times.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, there was one person at the time that was actually fine with the Pentagon Papers coming out and possibly being declassified. Henry Kissinger.
Good job, Hank.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard a New Yorker just say, "Good job, Henry Kissinger." A fellow Met fan.
Kissinger was fine until he wasn't. Henry Kissinger was okay. Good job. Yeah, right. He did the Paris Peace Accord.
Yes, yes, indeed. But there was a great Anthony Bourdain quote about Henry Kissinger and Cambodia. So rest in peace, Anthony Bourdain. Rot in hell, Henry.
Right. Well, I like Anthony Bourdain. He had dinner with President Obama in Vietnam.
Indeed.
Yep. Friends there. It's high on my list of places to travel to.
Yeah. But they actually preserved the table with everything left in like a glass box, like the chairs, the food left on the plate, the little bit of beer that's still in the bottles. They preserved everything in like in one corner of the restaurant where they sat at.
Okay. It's interesting because, we keep talking about tariffs and China's manufacturing. Well, a lot of our offshore manufacturing now has moved to Vietnam in a lot of industries, and they've really picked up the mantle now that it's a unified country. I forget, there was a question, maybe it was 1979, give or take, when the DMZ between the North and the South was decommissioned and they made it a unified country. Gee, I wonder if AP had any problem changing the name of Saigon to Ho Chi Minh City.
All right, let's. You want me to find that?
That's okay. It doesn't matter. Let's keep going on. Who else you got?
All right, but I do think at this time though, Lenny, I do think it might be important to thank once again our amazing sponsor.
Okay, I was going to give it a minute, but why not?
Yes, indeed. So, but once again, I do want to thank the Vault & Co. for being our brand new sponsors. We appreciate them so much for their support. If you're looking for purses, jewelry, old coins, they have it for you in St. Augustine's first luxury boutique. They can also Pontique, my bad.
There you go. It's a Pontique.
It is indeed a Pontique, Lenny, and that's why they are awesome. They're at 112 North Ponce de Leon Boulevard, next to the Cat Cafe in downtown St. Augustine.
So those of you who are combing through your pennies looking for those wonderful pennies from the 40s that are worth $1 million, when you get one, bring it to those guys or any of your other coins that are worth something.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And also, I do want to say, if you're looking for a commercial or residential real estate, my dad is the guy to go to with Coquina Coast Realty. That is 904-669-7901. Once again, my dad's phone number, Troy Blum's phone number, is 904-669-7901.
So now if you're a little bit hungry after you've been looking at all this fine real estate that Troy's going to take and show you, you got a couple of options. You can go to the Bayfront and go to Meehan's, have a cocktail, enjoy yourself, sit on the porch, get a great meal, fresh oysters, sit in the backyard, enjoy a fire pit, usually live music outside and inside. Great Irish pub. If you like Irish whiskey, they have the largest selection of Irish whiskey of any place I've ever been affiliated with. Most places have wine lists. They have a whiskey list that's many pages long, and they've got some great and some really rare Irish whiskeys there. Well worth checking out. But if you're looking for a quicker lunch and a little something different and you want some good beer, go to Kaiser's Deli and Market, 4 White Street, right on the bend on Anastasia Boulevard, over by Gypsy Cab Company. You can't miss it. Well, you can miss it because it's tucked back a little bit. But look for Kaiser's yellow, what is it? It's a Zuzu Trooper, maybe. But there's a yellow SUV parked right in the parking lot. That's better than the sign. It really is. So if you see that yellow SUV, you know you're at Kaiser's. Go in, tell them Bollox sent you, and enjoy a fabulous sandwich and pick out one of his many selection of beers.
All right.
And then, we also have the St. Augustine Distillery, as I'm drinking a gin and tonic with the St. Augustine gin. It is very, very delicious. And then Citygate Spirits down on Sponsor Row on the Bayfront. Both of them offer tours and tastings. You're going to enjoy yourself, and you're going to learn things. So you're not going to go wrong there either. And I would recommend either of those places. And then, maybe you want to go to Abare, Kresge and Associates first to get your taxes done, and then go to the distillery, and then go to Citygate Spirits for a cocktail after the fact.
Yes, indeed. Like Abare, Kresge and Associates has Blake Blow and Steak 2. Abare, Kresge and Associates has helped out my family, has helped out me personally, and in filing my taxes for this year. I would definitely be going back to them for the 2024 taxes. And they're the best CPAs in town. They're a great supporter of not only Bollox, Stocks and Tangibles, but also St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. They're great partners for a long time, and they've been really helpful for us.
Well, between you and your father, you have 37 jobs. So I'm sure it's not an easy gig for them, but it's
lots of 1099s.
Hand them the paperwork and sit back and watch the magic happen. That's what I say.
Indeed.
Okay.
All right, Lenny.
What else you got as far as the land of blowing whistles?
Well, if we
76. Okay.
If we were going to talk about referees, I was going to say Ed Hockley is my favorite football referee of all time.
Ed Hockley. Okay.
Mr. Big Biceps over here just telling me. Plus, also my favorite moment of him was he was refereeing the Pro Bowl. They threw a flag, but then he looked into the camera directly on the field and turned on his mic and says, "Yes, there are penalties in the Pro Bowl."
Okay. All right. Ed Hockley may be your favorite. I think it might have been Jerry Seaman, who was an official in the NFL for years and years and years. And I don't know if it was Jerry Seaman, but I think it may have been, who threw a flag, called a penalty, and his explanation was, personal foul. He's giving him the business.
Oh, that's my favorite one.
Yep. I'm not sure if it was Jerry Seaman, but it may have been. But that was just, it just sums it up perfectly. Personal foul. Intentional roughness. Unnecessary roughness. He's giving him the business. 15 yards. March it off, boys.
Yeah.
So that was pretty great, too.
Alrighty, Lenny. So
let's see who else we got around here.
So what's your most modern one you have?
Well, Bradley Birkenfeld was 2009. Well, you've got a couple that I didn't do, but we got the stuff that came out of the Gulf War. You have Chelsea Manning. You've got Snowden. You've got the Abu Ghraib prison situation. So those are the two most recent ones.
Yeah.
There was somebody else floating around there along with Chelsea Manning, but
So my most modern one is Edward Snowden on here. I thought about doing Chelsea Manning, but I was worried about like will this flag us on Facebook? So I avoided kind of that stuff. So
coward.
I am sorry, Lenny.
Don't be. It's not a problem. We want to stay. We want to stay on the air.
Not necessarily because of the war stuff, though.
Oh, I understand. Because of the transitioning.
Yep.
Can we say that?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, right. but that's a conversation for another time, though.
Another topic.
Indeed, Lenny. So Edward Snowden, he was a former national security agent contractor, and in 2013. He revealed a lot of stuff to The Guardian in the UK and here in the US by The Washington Post. So the first one that dropped was on June 5th, 2013 with the PRISM, a program that allowed NSA to access data from tech giants Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple. PRISM showed how the agency tapped into emails, chats, files, of users, often without their knowledge, under the guise of counterterrorism. Companies denied direct cooperation, claiming compliance with legal requests, but the scale of the data collection stunned the public. His next one was on June 6, 2013, with Section 215, which was NSA's bulk collection of phone metadata, which basically showed like foreign intelligence surveillance courts. The FICE courts compelled Verizon to hand over records of millions of American calls, numbers, times, durations daily without specific suspicion. And NSA wasn't just targeting suspects, but surveilling entire populations, raising constitutional concerns.
Well, thanks for another segue there, my handsome friend. 1972, gentleman by the name of Perry Fellwark. Fellwalk, I guess, maybe, exposed the NSA to the public. Nobody knew about it. And the NSA is a very super secret organization, which everybody knows about now because it's the biggest spy organization in the world, more than likely. Well, maybe the Russians stay up there, but you can't find out what's going on with Russia anymore, and they're on the balls of their ass anyway.
Yeah,
until we give them everything next week when we meet with them again, and Donnie hands them the country.
I guess they've been consuming too much processed potatoes.
You mean the vodka?
Indeed, Lenny.
Vodka is good.
I am talking about the vodka.
Makes you strong like bull.
Why don't we have any vodka?
Strong like bull, dumb like ox. We might have a bottle in there. St. Augustine Distillery does make vodka.
St. Augustine Distillery also makes vodka as well, ladies and gentlemen. So don't forget about that. If you are looking for vodka, St. Augustine Distillery.
Vodka Jim rum and the bourbons. And I got news for you. And their sipping rum is outstanding.
Oh,
it really is.
But we forgot about the newest product though. The cigars.
Oh yeah. I have to find the right time because it's a big-ass Churchill-sized cigar, so I've got to find the right time to be able to sit down and enjoy the entire thing. But in 1972, a gentleman by the name of Perry Fellwalk, wrote under the name of Wilson Peck, and he wrote a magazine article in 1971 that exposed the NSA to the public. Nobody knew about it, and at the time, the NSA had a budget larger than the CIA and was the largest information gathering organization probably in the world, and it still may be today. They're based in Maryland. I don't know if they're in Fort Detrick, quite possibly. CIA is over in Langley, but it's a huge organization. They've got their own spy satellites. They're probably listening to me even as I speak. Hi, I'm a loyalist. Take my word for it. Put my flag out every day. Put my right hand up instead. Thank you very much. But if you want to find out what's going on, ask somebody in the NSA because they'll find out for you.
Yeah.
You know, they're cycling through everything that's going on. And they work hard to keep our country safe, and it's something that you got to really appreciate. It's not an easy thing to do, especially nowadays, especially with technology exploding, encryptions everywhere, people working against you. So, it ain't an easy gig. And, the interesting thing is a lot of those people are sitting in cubicles, and they are loyal Americans. They're not Republicans. They're not Democrats. They're patriotic Americans. So please keep that in mind as we go forward, that there's a lot of people who are very nervous about their jobs right now, who are just trying to keep the country safe and move forward, and really don't need to take a loyalty oath to anything other than the United States Constitution.
Indeed.
Run that up the flagpole all the way to the top, please.
Yes, indeed, Lenny. All right, but we'll say about the NSA though. So they were actually headquartered in Fort Meade, Maryland, and there is a section in Fort Meade.
Fort Meade, there you go.
Where there actually is a storage facility for the U.S. Library of Congress.
Oh, where they can hide good stuff when they need to.
Indeed, Lenny.
Okay.
So, and they definitely know what the NSA is nearby. There's no way in hell you're gonna get Nicolas Cage to steal anything in there.
Not there. Yeah, I guess Fort Detrick might be the chemical warfare place. But so Julie and I did a trip to Washington a couple years back, and we went into the Library of Congress, went to the main reading room there. It's very, very impressive. And I asked somebody, "Do you guys give library cards?" Of course we do. So Julie and I now have Library of Congress library cards, which I think was just something cool to have in your wallet.
Yeah.
Sort of like my Marvel, Friends of Old Marvel card.
Yeah. But puzzles, by the way, it also Fort Meade is actually the home of the marching band, the U.S. Army Field Band.
Okay. Good. Play at a lot of events in most presidential situations.
So
by the way, if you need to go into the military, bring your instrument with you. Because if you're not a bugler out in the front leading the charge, which they don't do any longer, it's a nice way to be in the military, do your 20 and travel the world. Actually, from time to time, every couple of years or so, the Navy choir and jazz band and singers come down. They'll do a concert. I saw them at the St. Augustine Amphitheater about 3-4 years ago, the U.S. Navy Choir, and it was fabulous. They're very, very talented performers. And as I say, it's a great way to go through military service if you have to.
Indeed. All right, as I think we got four more minutes left
Okay.
of the show. I do want to talk about though, like so with all these whistleblowers, like each one has a different story about why they reveal their secrets, and some of them some do it through legal means, some do it through like illegal means as well. Like so what's your like overall thoughts about like people that blow the whistle on certain things?
Well, most of the people that we're dealt with today did it out of conscience or out of protection of someone or something. Many of them protecting the country, and trying to do the right thing with a proper moral compass, and separating right from wrong. There's a lot of gray area in that in a lot of ways and places, but for the most part, the majority of the people we dealt with and discussed today were trying to expose malfeasance or wrongdoing in an effort to have something positive come out of it, whether it was exposing Enron and their accounting errors and mishigas there, or the guy that a gentleman by the name of Harry Markopoulos, who exposed Bernie Madoff. The guy started looking through the Madoff portfolio and said, there's no way these returns can be realistic. And he dug through it, and he went to the SEC. And there's another case. Went to the SEC in 2000, in 2001, and 2005, and was ignored. And he realized it wasn't possible to get the results that Madoff claimed he was getting when he was taking money from the new people joining his fund and giving it to the people that had been there earlier. And it was just a Ponzi scheme. And you know what hurts me the most about that? Is that... I'm trying to remember the name, but the people that owned the New York Mets at the time, I can see the guy, and they were heavily invested with the Madoffs, and they lost millions of dollars, and it cost the Mets years of development because they didn't have money to buy anybody. The Wilpons. There you go.
Yeah.
Fred Wilpon. And the Wilpon family, I believe it was the Wilpon family that was invested with Madoff. They lost their shirt, and it set the Mets back for a bunch of years. So, and again, it was a case of the whistleblower did the right thing, went to the right authorities who blew him off, and he had to go public with it in some other fashion. And in the end, the majority of the people that tried to do it through legitimate means and then had to go to the press to get it out there, they tried to do the right thing, but most of them were vindicated by the results when it was over. And you have to appreciate a lot of these people, the courage and the courageous way they did this to go about getting this information into the public. Only 2 or 3 of these people made any money out of the deal, and that was after the fact. Like the guy who got $100 and whatever million from the $125 million from the IRS, $104 million from the IRS. From recaptured losses. But, you look at it this way, if the U.S. tax, the Internal Revenue Service is losing out on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars being hidden over in Swiss bank accounts because these people are avoiding taxes, you know what? Give them 10%, and we're all better off for it in the end.
Yeah.
So... I mean, if that's, I don't necessarily know that that's the proper motivation that greed or a payoff is the proper motivation for doing this, but it's a nice reward for doing the right thing. I don't know if he went in looking for the fact that he's going to get it, but for those of you scoring at home, if you know people that aren't paying their taxes, call Elon Musk, let him know, you'll get 10%. You're in business.
Yeah. I definitely do think like they're like so there are some there like I definitely do believe like there are some like the whistleblowers that we talked about did the right thing to reveal to the public what's actually going on behind our backs, like what's the government doing, and then for us to say then for us to make our own opinion about what to do with this information. But we'll say like there was a lot more hindsight about some of the whistleblowers on here. Like the big one I can think of is Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
Because now like what happened post
Well, you know,
post
a lot of the stuff he was revealing shouldn't have been out there. You know.
it just should have plus now his asylum into Russia now he actually became a Russian citizen in 2022. And so
That's because the Ecuadorians got tired of him hanging out in their embassy in England.
that's Julian Assange. That's someone different.
Oh yeah, we lost him too. Oh yeah, he was just running. He was just running from being a
Yeah, no, that guy actually deserved to be.
Right.
No, I'm not putting him on on this list here. So
No. Blake, we're out of time. I want to thank you very much for manning up and working through this without our 3 cameras, doing it with 1 camera. How are your fingers holding up?
hey, 2 cameras. We have 2.
All right.
See.
Oh, one?
2.
Oh, look at that.
And plus, P actually praised us for using 2 cameras instead of just staying on 1.
Yeah, well, you're good at what you do, man. You make this show hum.
Thank you.
We appreciate you very much.
Yeah. All right. But do want to say, everyone, thank you so much for watching this. I hope Blake Blevins take 2. Hopefully, the meeting that my dad's currently at does not extend into next week. He should be back.
Hopefully not. If not, you know what? We'll muddle through without him.
Yes, indeed.
Don't you worry.
Thank you again, Lenny. And once again, thank you so much for watching. Please support our sponsors. Please please share the show on Facebook, and we also have a YouTube channel as well. So please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Just in case if Facebook ever decides to go down, we have our backup available on YouTube. We thank you again so much for watching. This is Bollox Talks and Tangents, and we'll talk to you again next week. Lenny, I unfortunately now have to realize I now have to go in there to end the show. So please say 20 seconds of positivity. No.
I got you.
All right,
20 seconds? I can just count to 20. By 2s? That'll only be 10 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, 6:36 next week. We'll be here. We'll be starting the show again. Troy should be back. If not, Blake is an admiral will fill in, if not more. And we are out.